everyone, and welcome back. Today is going to be the continuation of yesterday's video where we kind of went into the outro, broke down our Jeskai control lesson deck, and made a lot of changes to it. And we're going to try those changes in today's video, as I was kind of talking about it a bit more. We end up slapping in the extra Ultima, as you'll see that is slightly different, and we do talk about a couple more changes we would make in the outro, but I left the deck list correct this time. As you might have watched in the outro that I messed up, I didn't make an extra copy. So with that said, we're gonna go ahead and just dive right into the games. It's another long one because as control tends to go long. But with that said, let's go game. All right, we are ready. Hopefully Arena stops being weird with the matches it's giving me. Like, imagine knowing what the top like 5 to 6 decks are, and I feel like I'm just stuck in round 1 of a big tournament playing against random stuff that nobody would ever play. It's so weird. I mean, that's kind of the thing when the season resets, I guess. You know what? If you have stock, if you have the No More Lies, you have it, bro. I say I'm not stopping you. It might just be flanker land here. I don't know what they're playing. Oh, they're playing other Jeskai control. Sure. Kind of both in the same ballpark. Nope. My deck is probably technically worse. Technically. Okay. Flanker, I guess. This is why flanker can just be good sometimes. Sure, dude. Don't have a mountain. That's crazy. I didn't even look. I just assumed. I really wanted to jam my Shiko that turn. Didn't even realize. I mean, fine, I guess. There. Go. Sure. This is where this card's like better in a kind of a mirror situation where these are all worse. It's just I built my deck to play against the aggro meta, and I've just not played against the aggro meta because that's about how Arena works. Oh, how many removal spells you play? Okay, here's people that don't play creatures. Good luck. And you're just stuck there going, okay. Thanks. This is great. Okay. Lightning helixes do not bother me at all. That's not how this game will be won. Actually, if they counter this, then great. I don't care. Still want to scry though, I think. Here. I will force them to interact with us. You're going down way more mana than I think I ever would in that spot, but sure. 2 lands is pretty good here. Play this one first. Jam Shiko. I thought I was resolving something else. Oops. I definitely clicked the wrong spell. For whatever reason, my brain, I went, yeah, I'm resolving a stock up right now because I wanted to click stock up to resolve stock up. And I just thought I was resolving a stock up. That's incredible. Obviously, I have nothing really going on. I rather put this over double like Helix here. I can't believe I did that. That's crazy. Oh well. We're just sitting here playing the mirror. Yes, I'm sure I'd like to target my creature for 2. So I can get my lessons up. Now that I screwed up my cumulative knowledge. Sure. Yeah. We'll resolve you later, I guess. I messed you up pretty bad. Huh. Which mana do I have? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unfortunately, I'm short one. Uh-huh. Yeah. Here. The untap land. Nice. Now we can draw 3 or put the top 3 in our hand. Which is pretty good. Yeah, I don't care. Use 3 helixes. There's 3 get lost in there. Obviously, like Chico and stuff is a card that they have access to. You like to make a card uncounterable? Be pretty funny. Yeah, sure. So, coolest part about that is this doesn't counter. I'd like to put this back in your hand, and I'd like to shoot you for 4. That's how that works. Yeah. Let's put the top 3 in my hand. Can we get there from here? It'd take a lot. I doubt it. Well. There's like weirdly a way. Good way to try. Red, white, red, white. Okay. Here's 12. You are now down to 4. Now we have lethal on board. Uh-huh. Yeah. Should get it done, right? Here and 4. Yeah, I'm gonna say you can't counter it, so weird game, but we'll take it. That game only took like 8 minutes. It felt like it took so much longer than that, but that's just kind of how like these games go. Sometimes nothing happens until everything happens, I guess. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep. Red source, please. We'll pass on it. We have a stock up. We just need to find a red source. Here. Well, we got rewarded for it, so that's pretty nice. Is this dies? Yeah, and this exiles. So let's go ahead and pick this off while we don't have to worry about anything. That's pretty nice. Another reason that this card has a lot of value. Okay. That's fine. It would have been way worse if they would have got to that turn. Obviously, you're just going to play the Verge here. We have another land drop to make, so we're just going to hold up some interaction. Finally getting to play against, like, a creature matchup that I've been kind of begging to play against. It's not either Reanimator or just this game's life on attack, so we have to take care of that. I've been just begging to play against a creature matchup that's not just Reanimator, considering, like, meta wise it is kind of at the top of the food chain, but it's just not happened, and I don't know why. Unfortunately, if they play another Exemplar, it's Exemplar, right? Yeah, we're in a little bit of trouble, just because we can't really deal with it all too well. That's totally fine. Unless there's a second shelter here, that's perfectly fine with me. Yep. The bird, no, because we got to pick off the. Got to pick this off. Although I will say, little surprised. Okay. Little surprised that they just jammed the shelter there for what, one more damage? I just don't know if I would ever do that. Especially considering it leads into like a board wipe, right? If you think I'm playing like really hard control and board wipes exist, like why would you ever? Okay. Sure. I wish, bro. I wish with everything I had that could have been a board wipe there. But we don't play mini. Well, that could be one. And I just want the fire magic available. So honestly, nah, we just take the wisdom here. I know it seems weird because it's 2 of 3, but it will be 3 of 3 whenever we cast this, right? Whenever we put this on a creature, we'll actually get the value. Gets one bigger and gains an extra life too, so it's not different than that. Obviously, we have Ultima here. So, we'll see. And they show me the last card, so play this tapped. Pop it, and we'll call it a day. Right, opponent? I would assume. At 41, they might play it out just because we're low in resources. But if this is a land, I could see them conceding. Fortunately, they don't concede. Stock up. Although that right there should be just like an example enough that I probably don't need to be playing lessons when I have this in my hand ready to go in a stock up. But I guess we're not arguing that over stock up, right? We're arguing this over the consult the star charts, right? Yeah. Uh-huh. Yep. Yep. I think this is where this card's got a ton of value. Top 3, please. I know it could have been a Helix, but I want Helixes to go face later off of other Chicos. And we have, yeah, we have one more Helix. Yep, that's fine. 3. Here. 4. Just like no reason at all to respond right now, so we just pass. 3. Yes. Huh? Urge. Here. You can take their whole turn off to play those again if they'd like. Now we have Helix and Combustion, so it doesn't really matter what they do. Sure. Uh-huh. Yep. Here. Combat. These. Here. Revelation. Nope. Just take spells. In turn. And, I mean, this game's over. They're staying around. They're being a trooper about it, but... Here's 10. I only have 7 here, so it's not enough. Sure. Uh-huh. Kind of feels bad, but it's just like... Is what it is, right? Opportunity of opponent can leave whenever. And that'll be more than enough. Oh, I guess technically they went to 12, not 13. So it was enough exactly on board. So I was going to go to combat after the Helix just to ensure it was done and over with. But yeah, we'll take it. Hand full of removal. You know what that means. Control matchup. Or like Graveyard Reanimator. And our whole hand will just be dead. But you know, that can be how it is. It's fine. It's fine. Sure. Just in case, you never know. Who would have thought, dude? Just every time, bro. Every time. You're like, yep. Hand of removal. Show me the creature deck. And it's like, what if I show you blue-white control? And you're like, thanks. It looks like artifacts, but Student of Knowledges are going to be needed. Ultima is going to have to be the best card we've ever had in our entire history of playing the game. Sure. Barrel this or to not? I guess to do it, right? Because we want these. And weirdly enough, I'm actually going to pivot and take the authority. Go here. Well, this and I guess this. Our whole plan, by the way, is stall until they put so much on the board that this Ultima just makes them concede. That's our entire plan. We stall, and they have like 2 synthesizers in play and like no cards in hand, and then we blow up their entire board and try to win with Revelations. Are they wondering if Braided Net stopped? There's no way I play an authority and my opponent's like, that's it, I'm done. I can't haste my dudes. Like, what am I supposed to do? There's no way. Yeah, I think they just, I don't know. There's just no way. They had to just leave, right? Like, they just weren't here. Sure. Okay. If they leave now, I would understand. I'm just going to keep stocking up, brother. I don't know. I don't even really need the mana. I'll just take another Surveil land, and I'll take, like, Purge, I guess. I don't know. You ain't doing much. Honestly, you're better in the graveyard at this point because you just fuel these, who apparently are going to be needed here. All right, this one won't miss, right? Can't possibly miss. All right, listen. I'm not saying it's fully missing, but it feels like it's missing. On them both. They already did the whole land thing. There's a revelation. I still have a red here. I really wanted a white available so I could authority. But please, on this Chico, can we remember that we're not resolving a stock up when 5 perfect cards show up and you go, wow, these are all gas. They're all gas because we had cast them already. Obviously, they can tap our stuff down with Braided Net. They just have to let this resolve. I don't know why they're not. No. Because technically they can tap my authority, by the way, if you're curious why there's priority being held. It's just like an annoying amount of priority being held. I just think they're literally getting up because they think they have nothing to do or they're just not paying attention. As soon as they come back, they're fully engaged and they take their turn. It's just, yeah, see, there it is. And I'll take the parlor, I guess. The reason we're taking a second one here is because they do play the artifact that enters and exiles, and we just want to stall them for as long as we can. But again, our plan is to Ultima blow up everything. Oh, come on. Just, like, you just leave or stay or do whatever. At this point. Doesn't really bother me at all what you do. I would prefer you to decide whether you want to play this game or not. Sad about MTG. Sure. This is what we were basically talking about, is they're going to prioritize my authorities, I think. That's why we picked up a second one. Oh no, not my Chico. Although, after all this is said and done, because the Braided Nets are flippable, I think this board's definitely 100% able to be hit with an Ultima here. Go authority. Yes, indeed, it's another one. You can Braided Net tap something if you'd like. Oh, they could tap their own permanent. I guess it wasn't even my authority. And here we go for the random pause for whatever reason. Whatever reason we need a random pause. Oh, bro. It's not my fault you don't like Magic right now, dude. Come on. Actually, it's about to be, I guess. Now that I think about it. Here. Yeah. I mean, I would feel bad for you because I'm playing Ultima, but I don't care. You just, like, every time you pass your turn, you just, like, left your phone on the counter. Like, God, I don't care. I'm glad you lost, I guess. I don't know. Opponents first. It's pretty versatile. We'll keep. I don't know what that means. Could be, like, graveyard shenanigans. Be life gain. Something. That's for sure. I think it's graveyard shenanigans, what I think it is, but let's just get the voice out of there. And then these are going to get a lot better as we potentially turn them on because they exile. We just unfortunately have to do like an accumulative wisdom first. Or they give me something like that, and that just gives us the perfect target for this. Exile that, nothing happens, and it's gone forever. And I will play a Surveil land. With wisdoms coming up, I think I want to pass on this land, I believe. It's also likely the next card's a land as well. A lot of times you can just assume cards are going to come in clumps of 2. So you got to be playing something second main, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Now this exiles Sephiroth, which is really nice. And we hit a firebending lesson, which is huge. Go here. And the reason it's like a big hit is because this will turn our wisdoms online with us not having to cast a wisdom. Okay. Sure. Here, maybe? So I was in a little bit of a confliction there. There's one part of me wanted to actually cast a wisdom to hit the land so we could Shiko and just exile this, which I still might do. But with that missed, I'd like to put the top 3 into my hand, which should allow us to have some form of good interaction here. I don't think that puts us just dead. I don't think they have enough action going on to do that. So I'd like to play this tapped. Maybe could have barreled that first to try to hit an authority, but maybe they'll think I have a counterspell and not barrel it. But knowing my opponent. Okay. Sweet. I was going to say the better play if they think I have counterspell is to actually do this and attack and make creatures and sack them. I'm taking like 5, 6 here. Make it free sacrifices to surveil. Obviously, best rip here is like a flanker almost no matter what, because it can answer their graveyard. We're also getting pretty close to a revelation, so we can kind of respond to some stuff with that. Top 3 into my hand. Helix, not bad. Not upset with the Helix. I'm kind of upset with what my hand looks like here. But we can get rid of their sack outlet, and then Ultima can clean up everything else after. So do I have a tap land? I do not. So I guess it should be play the extra white. Go with Shiko here. And obviously we have Helix to answer the Zealot, but we want the card that exiles the Zealot, not the other way. It can't sacrifice itself. So they do have a raise to pass, I believe. I think that's the only reason they're doing this. They're trying to find another one. Sure. They leave that one. So maybe they're a little less confident. Yeah, so that was like the only way I could see them making that play. So now we have the fun thing of attack for 4, I guess. I can't do anything on their turn regardless, so I don't know. I don't know what the odds are. That turn's now over. Okay. So my thing is, if they had another raise to pass, they're literally in the exact same spot. So I was just like, are we supposed to raise to pass? Or are we supposed to revelation, try to find something better? But Ultima just was the obvious play, and then we just Helix. I know, like, it feels bad for them because they don't get any sack there. But again, if they have another raise to pass, or they just take the draw and rip a raise to pass, we are not in a great spot. So with that, we'll take it. Okay, our opponent goes first. We have 2 surveil lands. I think this is weirdly fine to keep. We have 2 looks at a land plus 2 draws, 3 draws, and a card that randomly, if they're a bunch of 1/1s, actually clears them all up. Oh. Okay. We want this one. Sure. Think they thought that this was a green? Curious. I'm curious myself. I'm gonna go for a cumulative knowledge here, I think. Or a cumulative wisdom. Okay. Hey, look, you played your Landware Elf, dude. I'm gonna play this just so that they might commit a bit more here. And I'm definitely going to take that. Just play another. Ah, it's a 1/2. Brutal. Brutal, brutal, brutal. Huh. Surveil. No, Chico's fine. I'm a little afraid of like Ouroboros, but I mean, anything with 1 toughness we're prepared for with this. Oh, the exact card that I said I was afraid of. Who would have thought? But at least here, I can deal 4 to it, right? Yeah. Kind of wait for our opponent to actually put a lot of stuff on the battlefield. They just haven't done it yet. We do need 1 more lesson in our graveyard before, like, we can do this and put 3 in our hand. Sure. Sure. You ever, like, listen to music and all of a sudden the music blares? And you're just like, okay, I guess I'm listening to you on max volume. I don't know if I like that. Here is weird because I feel like I'm supposed to Shiko just to use it as more of a protection spell. But I also don't mind stock up here. I have 2 red sources, so... Well, we miss, but I'm going to grab 2 spells here. Like, we miss, sort of. Like, this is a miss, but it's not a miss. Because, obviously, putting 3 in our hand on our end step's great. We were just kind of looking for something a bit more substantial. Actually, we were looking for something less. We were looking for the 1 mana deal 2 damage. Is what we were looking for. Take a small little crack. Sure. A lot of cards coming out here. By Ultima, is that everything? I get to keep everything else? Yeah. And then they have to just reset on the board, and this is 5 mana and they don't have it? Yeah, let's Ultima. This also means if they commit to like playing 1 Ouroboros, sure it'll get like kind of large, but not enough to really stop us from doing much. And here I'll pay the ward of 1 twice. Or hear me out. Just do this. We reset the Innkeeper's talent. Or I can just Shiko. Do I have the 1 drop in there? No, I have the combustion. That's kind of cool. We can do it that way. Yeah, I don't mind that. Let's try that. We do this instead. Then we have it deal 1. It doesn't target. Then we just pass. Now they'll go up. I guess this isn't technically tradable. For some reason I thought after 2 counters I'd be able to trade, but I actually can't. Yeah, maybe we punted. I've done that a time or 2. You copying my Shiko right now? Okay. What do you grab? I guess that works. Looks. You put a counter on the Shiko, I suppose. I wasn't really ready for that play. Put a counter on itself, sure. Huh. Well, that's a little bit of a weird spot to be in, huh? Because now Shiko can't do that, and it'll actually be one less because I pull a lesson out. Helix isn't really going to do what I want it to do. Revelation isn't really going to do what I want it to do. Alright, well, if you want a school on how not to play this deck, that's definitely what I just did is the way to do it. Is the way not to do it, I guess. Okay. I'm just surprised they made Chico more than anything. Now I feel like I'm supposed to do this. That's an 8-9, which I can answer next turn. The thing that had trample was just the part that was kind of getting tough in my mind. Sure. So if I'm answering this next turn, I probably shouldn't. Probably shouldn't block here. At least it doesn't feel like I'm supposed to. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Half my life here. I think I block. How not to play this deck 101. Okay, well, I can remove, then remove, I guess. Yeah, that works. I assume they're going to level this all the way up. Now, obviously, a counterspell could happen in between here and there, and that would be pretty tragic, but... 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See. Okay. So... It's already targeted. I don't know. We want to... Weird. Because if we don't pay one ward cost, it counters it. So I want to... Bounce. No, because I have to bounce here. I want to bounce here and I want to remove here, I guess. Yeah, I guess. We do gain 4 on this resolving, by the way, so we're not as close to Cook there as we might think. Sure. I just realized I couldn't target 2 things because then they would get to move the counter around before it all happened. And I should have done it in response to them leveling this up because now, like, 6, 8, 14. Yeah, it's just so much. Uh-huh. I mean, we might as well just take the damage now. I just, like, I can't get my brain connected here. I just don't know what's going on. I know what's going on, obviously. I just, like, I can't get myself to make the right plays right now for some reason. I mean, I can Helix, then remove, I guess. It seems so wrong. Not bad. I can Shiko, Helix. Eco Helix. No. Too expensive to do it that way. Turn. Here. Huh? Do we think they're going to level their Innkeeper's talent all the way up again? It's a bit brutal, but it is what it is. How to not play Magic the Gathering. Catered by yours truly. Sure. Okay. Once they're like small like this, we'll be able to pick them off left and right. That's not the biggest deal in the world. Not using this map's a little crazy. Sure. It feels like they have something. Huh. The monks are big. For whatever reason. They're consistent. Oh, alright. I'm gonna be honest. Didn't think I'd get that far. Reactivating the map now? What do they have? Okay. Interesting indeed. Ward is only getting harder. Although we do get to cast this for free, obviously. Take out the actual creature. I'm so ready for this Ouroboros to come around. And then I just have to figure out how to deal with it. I mean, I have an answer, but just like in general. Wanna pay? Get out of here. Tapped. We're only gonna be able to pay Ward once here. Now at least we got some homies floating about. It says Ward, right? Like, why is that not showing up? Because when we target this, they're going to get to move a counter somewhere. So we want them to only get one counter, and then they have to double it after. Sure. We are fighting our best. We can. So now it's just leveled up. Because that would have went to 3 and then to 5. And then we have literally another problem on our hand. But they can grow with this map. It's realistically going to hit here. Oh, the hot one. Okay. Ben? I don't know about that. This seems good. That just seemed good to me. It's weird because I want to put the top 3 in my hand of the Shiko, but I kind of need to stock up. I bet. Kind of already decided with the Shiko that it's gone. Another one. Doesn't matter which one we keep, but I'll keep the new one. Something about it feels right. Stock up. Grab 2. Listen, authority good. 6 cards is also good. Go ahead. We want to wait until their turn so we get prowess triggers so we have better blockers. That has to be your flood pits, right? This last card in hand. They're just waiting to do a trick with it. That's the only thing I can think of. This thing sets something base power to 3, so these get a little bit larger. Sure. It's a 7/7. Does it have trample? That is not. Before we get to blocks or anything, let's do this. Okay. Pretty good, pretty good. You knew they had a flood pits. Okay, so we got the information we wanted. That's fine. I can cast this. Okay, well, you're going here, and because I'm most likely Ulta doing this, realistically, that means I should probably just sacrifice that as well. I know it doesn't seem like the greatest thing in the world, but man, do we need good Magic the Gathering cards. I'm gonna go to 9 here. These two, I suppose. All right. Show it to me, brethren. Are you going to bring up the large one or not? You bring up the other one so I take less damage here? Dude, thank you. They end up just not attacking me this turn. I would say if they don't attack me this turn, I'd be mind blown. Think I have a revelation, right? Yeah, I do. I'm all out of stuff though. Here. Here. We might have to play that, to be honest with you. Both of those do not get it done. We might have to play this on its one side. All right, well, that does get it done because it's so large. Like, it's just so many. It's so many numbered dollar dues. We're going to go here. Go to combat. 3. Go here. This and this. And now we're kind of ready. We can come in and give things ward again, but that takes like 3 of their mana away. Which means if they do that, they can't bring one up. Oh, they'd have to shock that in. And I have 9 damage to one. This is kind of that thing I was talking about where this has good value that I like it. Just because it can piece up one of these. What to do? Passing here? I'll take that opportunity all day. All day, I'll take that opportunity to flash this in. Because now if they bring up the land to block, like I just cured it with the technique. But I don't have enough for lethal anyway, so I'm probably just attacking with the flanker. You want to Tidebinder that? Deal. Stock up. Revelation, one day I will find you. Wherever you are, wherever you're hiding. Next card. Actually, it looks like I know my entire deck. There you are. I could have just looked at any point. All right, well, we're guaranteed to hit it if we stock up, right? So 1, 2, 3. I guess I should have looked. I didn't realize, but with the power of shooting things for 9 apiece, I think I offer a trade. They would like to take it. I use this just for 7 life, essentially. And unfortunately, even though we played it kind of poorly, we got back into it. You know, my brain was just not on the functioning page. Our opponent might think that they just have it covered here by bringing one of these up. Don't have enough mana to do a second one. So, here. They also didn't level this, by the way, so it doesn't even have ward. I think they forgot to level this, so it doesn't have ward or anything, so we end up getting there regardless, thankfully. So, yeah, I mean, what a weird one. I just, for whatever reason, in the middle of that game, I was just making the wrong call. I felt like as soon as I made the decision to do something, I then was like, well, I think that's wrong. So, it's a little whack, but sure. Oh, wow. How much more expensive do you want my hand to be? Might as well just throw 2 revelations in that hand. You know what I mean? Like, holy. So obviously we gotta just throw Shiko away and use the cards that are playable. Okay. Oh, thankfully we pick up another one, which is nice. So when we play a Surveillant next turn, we do actually get to interact with the board. Against kind of the idea of what we wanted to play against. Not like perfectly, but you know, it's still where we want to be. Land I'll pass on for now because I have a stock up that I feel like I'm jamming next turn. Let's just keep cleaning it up. I guess we might also just do this into a Helix. Okay. So, I don't know if our opponent knows that this doesn't count for this. But I'm not going to stop him. And at least here I get to show the cool trick. So we go to their turn, right? We end the turn. Then we Helix the land. Right? And you might be like, well, why are we doing it now? I guess they could have a flash thing. The land re-enters the battlefield tapped. So they won't have access to that mana at all this turn. Obviously, Badger Mole Cub, something we want to pick up eventually. But if it's just a Cub with no Dorks in play currently, it's not that big of a deal. Right? It obviously could be much worse. So here, it feels as though it might have nothing. They have 1 card in hand. They have 6 mana, 7 mana. They play a land. Is that Crater Hoof potential? Like a little part of me wants to stock up real bad. But here I think I just take out the Landware Elf and call it a day. And then stock up whenever I have access to 2 more mana. We're real likely to be hitting some lands in this stock up. We're probably going to hit about 3 lands and 2 spells that will probably be like what, a Revelation and I don't know. Those last cards in their hand, I think it's weirdly stuck in their hand. Yeah, I think I need more mana. Okay, Ultima's not bad. Is it with 2 lands? There's definitely 2 spells. So Ultima Helix, I guess. Play the white source for the Helix. And then now we actually get rid of Badger Mole Cub. With Landware Elf, considering Landware Elf could tap itself for mana, well, I exiled it, I guess. Because it could tap itself for mana, we didn't care. Or we wanted to get rid of it because without Badger Mole, they still have a mana dork. But with this, having to tap another permanent, like this taps for mana and this taps for mana. So it doesn't really matter if both tap for mana, right? Okay, well, the next card we draw is basically a free roll. Because it's either going to be a card, well, okay. There's one answer. Whenever you cast a spell with 4 or greater, untap it. But here's my thing. I just Ultima, right? 1 card in hand, it kills the creatures, and yeah, I just Ultima, I think. Seems good. Kind of fun. Man, that's a lot of stuff they've played, but obviously we've matched. I'm gonna actually flash this in on upkeep and scry too. Both of those are great. I'm sorry for scrying too. Both of those were fantastic. My apologies. 6 mana. What do you have? Okay. Well, not the name I would have chose for you. I've been playing a lot of Fallout New Vegas again. Couldn't be happier. I mean, yeah, right? Like, turn 4. Make some dudes. But I really enjoy Fallout New Vegas. I thought about doing like a second channel and just playing like the other variety games I want to play. Because the reason I even started recording Arena, well, I kind of wanted to do the YouTube thing in general, but the reason I started recording Arena was because I was playing a ton of Arena and I felt like to justify my time, I should record. But, yeah. Alright, am I going to get roped here? Probably. No. Oh. Never mind. My bad, opponent. You're a trooper. I respect it. Here is where this card I feel like takes over. This might be the best example of a card taking off. Take flight, little bird. Actually, I don't even think they're going to get a turn. Yeah, they're not even getting a turn here. I think they're cooked. They obviously could have something, but never mind. It went from revelation to instantly winning. Very cool. And I think that's arguably, I mean, that's why the 1 decks that play or that are just blue-red or the prowessy type decks, they're just playing all the lessons because this card's messed up. It's very good. And I think this card is also very good. I think this card gets not talked about enough on how good it is for those type of decks because it can't hit like planeswalkers and obviously it can't go face. But when we hit the like 7-drop creature last game with that was crazy because it was up there at 9. So cool. Okay, so finishing off, we kind of just, after we talked about all the changes yesterday, we kind of just ran it down and wanted to keep playing. So this is kind of the continuation. But as you could tell, based on the rank, I kind of did it the next day. Unfortunately, it was a little late, and I just decided to kind of play it later. And we were in gold. I had to kind of cut the first 2 matches that I played, and we lost them, which is like, well, why are we cutting them? I don't think I will ever play against those decks ever again in my entire Arena career, because they were just like the epitome of someone that's like, oh, I D-ranked to gold, cool, I'm gonna play the random assortment of cards that I own. And I was just sitting there being like, okay, they've only played like oddball things and I've been not able to interact with them. So things to take away. This card I think is good enough to be playing if we're going to be playing lessons in the future, which I'm not sold on now after playing today. It's really, when I walked away from this list yesterday, I was like, man, I feel pretty good about it. I think 2 authorities is fine. I don't think we need any more than that, because with as much removal as we have, if we don't have this in our opener, we kind of like never want to see it. So having 3 and not having 1 in the opener makes it a lot harder to like not see it later, which we were okay with because against artifacts and stuff, it's great and things like that. But I almost don't even know if it's needed with how much removal we have. We just have to fit either Get Lost in, or as like a comment today, some amount of counter spells would probably be good. Maybe just the 1 that counters if I have a dragon in my hand might be fine. I just thought It'll Quench Ya was too narrow on the fact that it could only do 2, and the only reason we're playing it is because it's a lesson. Like, I would prefer to play a 3 steps ahead where I could copy like a flanker or a river regent or maybe even a Chico. I don't know if it says non-legendary. I just know it would die if we copy it, obviously because of a legendary. But I don't really care. I'm looking for the value off of having that ETB if I'm doing Chico. But having like a 3 steps ahead that can maybe even draw or something, or just playing maybe a different type of counter spell in general, where it's like 2 mana plus it has some other conditions on it, so we can use it in other ways that isn't it just being stuck in our hand. The reversal, I think, is a little bit weaker now than what I've felt about it in the past. I think there's been a couple of times where I've had this in my hand and it's made it a little bit awkward, and I just haven't really liked playing around it. And Iroh wasn't bad. This wasn't bad. Just the big downside is that it's a sorcery, and you kind of have to just like live with that. But I almost feel like with just these right here that this is plenty of them, and you could arguably just make these like Get Lost or your 2 counter spells pretty easily, and the rest of the deck functions pretty okay. And I'm almost on the fact that with this much removal as I'm playing, that authorities are kind of whatever. Because, again, it falls into that line where authorities do buy you time, but we do have 8 2-mana removal spells, 10 2-mana removal spells, and then we also have 3 more 1s. So we have 13 removal spells that we can use on turns 1 and then on turns 2, especially if we maybe play Surveillant first. So, honestly, maybe not even playing authority and just, like, adding the last lesson, and then cutting maybe reversal Iroh, cutting these entirely, adding the last one of these maybe, and then adding like our Get Lost or a counterspell, or just playing like 3 counterspells. If you're wanting to jam a counterspell in here and try the list, I would maybe start looking at the authority and then these 2 as your cuts. Maybe even just play 1 authority, or you can go like cut authority, play a Soul Guide Lantern, cut the other authority and these, and play maybe your counterspells or other interaction. I would like to get another Revelation in here. I just don't really want to go lower than 26 lands in a deck like this. But I could see going to 25 when you have like extra looks like these in your deck or whatever. But who knows? I don't know. The lessons might just not be worth it in this one. And it might just be we kind of have a base built up. Let's see what happens. It'll be a while, but let's see what happens when Strixhaven kind of comes out the second go around, because that's where lessons originally came from. So obviously ways to get these out of the sideboard or something, where maybe we can actually put like oddball ones like this in the side and grab them with a learn spell or something if those are available. But I did miss Avatar's Wrath, but I did go with the second Ultima instead, and then the River Regent I didn't really miss outside of the body again. I cycled it, I think, once, but the body was also fine. So River Regent might also be kind of on that chopping block, as weird as that sounds, just because we're kind of going into this more like lower to the ground, learn, get our stuff up, and then really try to win with this Revelation whenever we cast it. So it might be better to like trim these out, play a 3rd Revelation, which is a lot, don't get me wrong, but we all know how good this card can be when it's doing its thing. So you might even find slots there, but if you are cutting this, then it might have to leave the authorities in. I'm not really sure. I do think this deck has legs, and I do think there's a like version out there that could definitely be solved with playing the lessons. It just might be more beneficial for the time being to just not flirt with them too much, just like maybe not worry about them. I just do like the fact that this card, this has been my favorite card in the deck, because it's kind of always answered any creature, and the exile has been massive when it comes to best of 1, whereas like this card kind of gets its task done for me is the best of 1 exiling the creature, because Get Lost is good, but giving like the sacrifice decks the extra maps to put extra creatures in while making their current creature in play a threat sucks. Where I can use this, I can get rid of the sack outlet, I can get rid of the life gainer permanently, the things that I don't want to deal with over and over again. I can just get rid of them permanently and be pretty happy about it with this card. So kind of where it was. And this also came up where I kicked this for 4. I think it is just better than playing the Iroh. Like I think you're going to be using it for 1 forever, and then you're just going to kick it before the Iroh thing kind of happens. So I would probably just directly replace these right now and just play 4 of these and cut this at least and go from there. But we're going to export this list. This is what I end up playing. So I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.